Hello friends, welcome to your own YouTube channel, Achievers Data Engineering. Hope you are doing good and continuously learning. This is part 2 of Azure Data Learning. In this video, we are going to talk about key components of the Azure Data Factory. Now, if you are watching this video for the first time, please do hit the like button and subscribe this channel for getting latest update on any video which I upload. And if you are learning Azure Data Factory from the beginning or getting started with Azure, I would highly recommend to watch this video from starting. This is part 2. So start watching from the part 1 where we have discussed basics about what is Azure Data Factory, its capabilities and properties which you should know before getting started. So as we said, this is part 2 and we are going to continue with the key components of Azure Data Factory. So what we are going to cover here is what is linked service. We are going to check what is dataset, what is activity, what is pipeline, and what is integration runtime. Now, it is not possible to connect everything in detail in this a single video. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to give you a brief introduction about these properties or key components. And furthermore, we will have a separate video on each component and I'll be describing everything in details. So let's get started. So what is Data Factory? You guys already know at this point of time. If you want to know in details, please go ahead and watch my first video. So let's directly jump on its key components. So first of all, what is Azure linked service? I would say, sorry, Data Factory linked services. So if you are new to Azure, you would like to know in details. However, if you are a legacy employee of SSIS and you have working on any SSIS packages or you have deployed or worked on any package setup, then you must be knowing Connection Manager. So this linked service on Azure Data Factory is nothing but a connection manager. So what does it do? This link service enables you to ingest data from a data source in readiness to prepare the data for a transformation and or analysis. So what happens when you are trying to set up a package, when you are trying to set up a pipeline, you start like you want to migrate some data from like A data source to B data source. So in that situation, when you want to set up a pipeline, you first of all tell Azure Data Factory that, okay, these are the data connections or these are the data sources from where I want to ingest data, and this is where I want to, put the data. So those main connection strings all are called linked services. So in addition, linked services can also fire up the compute services on demand. For example, you may have a requirement to start an on-demand HD Insight cluster for the purpose of just processing data through Hive query, right? So, I mean, it is nothing complicated. As I said, if you have worked on SSIS or if not, then don't worry. It's nothing complicated. It just a connection manager where you define what is data set. I'm sorry, not what is the data set, what is the data source. So let me show you an example on Azure portal itself. So this is my Azure portal and I have already created one Azure Data Factory. So at this point of time, if you don't know how to provision a service or Azure Data Factory, then don't worry. I have a separate video on it. You can watch it. I'll mention it in the description. So let me go on the Azure Data Factory. So let's go on Azure Data Factory Studio. Just give it a second. All right. Uh, Still waiting. Okay, there we go. So this is home page where it says ingest, orchestrate, transform, and configure SSIS. So what we are going to look is what is linked services. So if I go directly on the manage, so don't worry about all these options. Definitely we are going to cover everything in details. For now, we are going to check what is linked service. So if you go in this menu option, click on manage, then you will see an option here. It says linked service. And what it is, it says linked service defines the connection information to a data store or compute. So if I hit new to add a linked service, it will ask us to, select a data source. or compute. So let's check with the data source. For example, I have a data source. I have a data which is sitting in Azure Blob Storage. I can click on continue. I can give it a name and define a rest of the properties. So we are not going to do everything in details. We'll cover that in a separate video. So this is all about a linked service, which is nothing but a connection manager. Let's head back to the presentation. Then another key component which you should know is dataset. So dataset represents the data structure. So one thing that you should notice here, it represents the data structure, not the actual data. So it represents the data structure within the data store that is being referenced by the linked service object, right? So whatever linked service the connection manager we will establish, then it will, with help of dataset, we will reference to a data which will be stored in a same connection which we have created using linked service, right? So with linked services defined, Azure Data Factory is made aware of a dataset that it should use through creation of dataset object, right? So datasets are used by ADF object known as activity. So let me like reiterate in a simple word. So first of all, we define a connection manager using a linked service. Now, suppose let's take an example. We have a SQL Server database. So we will create a linked service that will give us a connection string of that server. Now, when we are creating a data set, then we are referencing a table, or I mean a table which is stored in that server, right? So this data set will not actually contain a data itself, rather it will contain its like maybe hierarchy, I would say metadata, like what is the structure of data if you are referencing a table, then how many columns are there, so that it can go ahead and map that data set when we are doing the transformation. So let's again take a look on Azure Data Factory itself. So we are back to the Azure portal now. If we go to this author tab, if you're going to learn on Azure Data Factory, then most of the time you will end up working in author tab. So here you see pipeline, data sets, data flows. So if you talk about data set, if you click plus and then add data set, then it said in pipeline activities and data flows reference a data set to specify the location and the structure of your data within a data store, right? So for example, again, let's take an example of Azure Data Storage. Now in last, when we were creating connection string, it just asked for the data source and then it asked for the rest of the details. When we are creating data set, first we will connect the storage. Now it is asking for the format. So it want to know in that data store in which format we have data. We have in Excel, in binary, in JSON, in ORC, or maybe in Parquet format, right? So we can select it and then we can define the details, like we can give it a name. And now here it is asking with which linked service. So now it want to know this data set is connected with which connection manager or with which linked service. In this way, it will be able to know like on this server, this is the data which Azure Data Factory needs to work on, right? So hope it is giving you a brief idea or brief introduction about this. Let me discard the changes and head back to the presentation. So another one is activities. Now activities are the most important or the most basic thing in Azure Data Factory. Activity typically contains the transformation logic or the analysis command of the Azure Data Factory's work. So for example, you have created a connection manager, you have defined the data set, you have said, okay, this is the data set, this is a table. Now what Azure Data Factory should do with that data? This is something we define using activities. So that's why it says it's a transformation logic. So activities include the copy activity. This is an example of a cop activity that can be used to ingest data from a variety of data sources. Also, there is an activity that is mapping data. So it can also include mapping data flow to perform code-free data transformation. It can also include execution of an store procedure, right? Hive query or a pig script to transform the data. So this is the kind of an examples given. But in nutshell, activities is nothing but a transformation logic or instructions to Azure Data Factory. So what to do with that data? So let's have a practical look on Azure Data Factory. So you can see here it's in a pipeline. So for example, let's first of all click create a pipeline. I'll give it a name pipeline one. Now let me minimize to give some space here. Oops. There we go. All right. So once you will create this pipeline, in this pipeline, you can add those activities. So the example we talk about copy activities, either you can search it over here and select this copy activity, or all those activities are, defined in multiple categories. So maybe you can go into move and transform option and select this copy activity. So once you will drag this copy activity in the flow, in the pipeline, it will ask for the multiple options. So what is source, what is sync? Sync is nothing but destination, mapping, settings, and user profile, user property. So don't worry about these options. We're gonna cover all these details in the separate video. Right now, you just need to know that what is activity. So this is an example of copy activity. Similarly, we have lot many activities which we are going to work forward when we are working on our Azure Data Factory. All right, so let's head back to the presentation. Another one is pipeline. So as of now, you might be like getting some idea what is pipeline. So when multiple activities are logically grouped together as an object, it is called pipeline. So what happened in Azure Data Factory, once we will have multiple activities, for example, we have got copy activity, then maybe we are doing some delete activity, and so many. So for example, we have connected a number of services and then we want to run that entire process on a single click. So this entire process is saved or recorded in an object which is called pipeline, right? So pipeline is nothing but a complete process flow which contains multiple activities which are logically grouped. So everything needs to be connected so that they can execute in a proper sequence. So these can be scheduled to execute. So this is in a property of pipeline that we can schedule it when we want to execute it, or we can execute it based on a trigger and determine when a pipeline execution needs to be kicked off. So we can define triggers when to execute a pipeline. We can also execute on an individual level activity basis, but obviously if we have created a group of activities and we want to execute it as a pipeline, so we can define a trigger. So don't worry about the trigger. We are going to create a separate video on what is trigger. Right, so let's get to the next topic, which is integration runtime. So this is one of the important component. So integration runtime enables a bridge between the activity and the linked service object. It is referred by the linked services and provide the compute environment where the activity either runs on or gets dispatched from. So let me directly show you. So what happened when we create data set, or when we create, let me try creating a data set again. Let's go to Azure Blob, continue. Oh, I'm sorry, not the data set. Let's go back here, create a linked service, continue. All right. So when you will create a linked service, it will ask to, uh, define connect via integration runtime. So what is this integration runtime? It is nothing but a compute service, right? So suppose we want to ingest data, transform it, and then do some kind of transformation on it, right? So to execute a pipeline, it will require some compute services like number of CPUs, processing units, and like other resources. So all these resources are managed and defined by this integration runtime. So that's why it is saying integration runtime enables a bridge between activity and linked service. So based on linked service what to do with an activity, and while doing or performing that activity, that required compute service will be provided by integration runtime. So hope it is giving you a brief idea about it. We are going to cover in details again about this integration runtime because it's a detailed process that we should know. Now, there are three types of integration runtime, which is supported by Azure Data Factory as of now, or defined by Azure Data Factory. So first one is Azure, another one is self-hosted, and Azure SSIS. If you are working on Azure Synapse Analytics, then Azure Synapse Analytics is as of now supporting only self-hosted and Azure data type integration runtime. It is not supporting Azure SSIS runtime as of now. So basically, this Azure SSIS runtime is used for migrating on-prem packages to cloud environment. So which is as of now not supported in Azure Synapse, but all three are supported in Azure Data Factory. So I hope it is giving a brief idea. If you take a look in the flow chart, it is giving you an overview of Azure Data Factory. So we are migrating from source one to another source, and this is how the icon of pipeline look, and this is how it works. So first we define a linked service, we define a data set, we define an activity, and all together we club that into pipeline. So everything is connected and it executes in a sequence and things are connected with each other. So hope you are getting a brief idea about this, and I hope you like the content. I will continue posting the more videos on Azure Data Factory. And if you like the content, please do hit the like button and subscribe my channel to stay up to date on the latest videos I upload. Thank you so much for watching. Keep learning and have a great day.